Have you ever received a call that sounded suspiciously like a loved one, but something was off? Welcome to the unnerving world of AI voice cloning scams. These scams leverage the cutting-edge technology of artificial intelligence to clone voices, creating eerily accurate voice simulations. It's an alarming trend that's gaining traction in our increasingly digital age. Imagine getting a call from your mother's number, hearing her voice, but the conversation doesn't feel quite right. The pauses are too long, the inflection's slightly off. You're in the middle of an AI voice cloning scam. These scams are designed to exploit trust and familiarity, which makes them particularly insidious. The worst part, the technology behind these scams is evolving rapidly, making them more convincing and harder to detect. But don't panic just yet. As daunting as this may sound, there are effective ways to safeguard yourself from these AI voice cloning scams. Intriguing, isn't it? But let's dive into how you can protect yourself from these AI voice cloning scams. First things first, awareness and caution are your best defenses. In a world where technology is becoming increasingly sophisticated, it's essential to keep your wits about you. One of these advancements that might be ringing your phone soon is AI voice cloning. The goal? To trick you into revealing personal details or parting with your hard-earned cash. Now let's start with the unexpected calls. It's a common tactic for scammers to use unfamiliar numbers. They'll call with an urgent request, often for money or personal details. If you're caught off guard, it's easy to fall into their trap. So when you receive a call from an unknown number, especially one with an urgent request, proceed with extreme caution. Next, let's talk about speech patterns. AI is impressive, but it's not perfect. Pay close attention to the voice on the other end of the line. Are there robotic or unnatural pauses? Are there odd inflections? Or does the voice sound familiar, but something's just off? These could be signs that you're dealing with a voice clone, not a real person. And then there's the pressure. Scammers love to create high-pressure situations. They'll tell you that action is needed immediately, that there's no time to think or check facts. But here's the thing, there's always time. So take that moment to breathe. Assess the situation. Don't let anyone rush you into making decisions. In this high-tech world, it's easy to be dazzled by the wonders of AI. But remember, it's not just about the technology, it's about the people who use it, and not everyone has good intentions. So, stay vigilant, be cautious, and never ever act in haste. Remember, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Now, let's move to the next step. Verification and communication are the keys to your digital castle. In our increasingly interconnected world, it's easy to take communication at face value, but when it comes to the sophisticated realm of AI voice cloning scams, you must adopt a more critical approach. Just as you wouldn't leave your front door unlocked, don't leave your digital doors unguarded. Let's start with cross-checking information. If someone calls you out of the blue with an urgent request or alarming news, don't just take their word for it. Scammers are masters of manipulation, often using fear or urgency to cloud your judgment. So take a step back, breathe, and independently verify the information. If they claim your bank account is compromised, hang up and call your bank directly on their official number. If they claim a family member is in trouble, reach out to that person or another relative to confirm. This extra step can save you from falling into a scammer's trap. Next, consider using safe phrases. Establish secret phrases or questions with your close friends and family that only you would know. This acts as a verbal password, adding an extra layer of security to your communications. It's a simple yet effective way to confirm you're speaking with the person you think you are. Lastly, if you're unsure about a caller's identity, suggest switching to a different communication channel. If the caller claims to be a friend, propose moving the conversation to a platform where you've previously spoken and are familiar with their voice. Or better yet, suggest a video chat. It's much harder for scammers to fake video footage than a voice call. In essence, treat your digital communications with the same caution you would a physical interaction. Scammers may be crafty, but they're not infallible. By cross-checking information, using safe phrases, and being willing to switch communication channels, you can outsmart them. Trust, but verify. Always use these practices to ensure you're communicating with the person you think you are. Scene script. Security is not a product, but a process. So let's talk about some good security practices. First and foremost, let's discuss the importance of strong passwords. While it might be tempting to use your pet's name or your birthday, These are often the first guesses for anyone trying to break into your accounts. Instead, consider using a combination of letters, numbers, and symbols. Make them long and make them unique. Don't use the same password for multiple accounts. If one account is compromised, it makes it easier for the rest to follow. And remember, two-factor authentication is your friend. It adds an extra layer of security against unauthorized access. With it enabled, even if someone does get your password, they still won't be able to access your account without a second form of verification, typically sent to your mobile device. Next, let's talk about voice recording sharing. In this day and age, our voices are all over the internet. We share voice notes, we post videos, we participate in conference calls. Each time we do, we're potentially giving someone the raw material they need to clone our voice. So be mindful of where you share voice recordings online. If you're posting a video or a podcast, consider distorting your voice slightly or using a voice changer. It may not be foolproof, but it's an extra layer of protection against those looking to misuse your voice. Lastly, keep your software up to date. It's not just about getting the latest features or the newest emojis. Software updates often include patches for vulnerabilities that scammers could exploit. So, the next time your phone or computer prompts you to install an update, don't ignore it. It's not a chore, but a crucial step in safeguarding your digital world. Remember, security isn't a one-time thing, it's a process, a habit. It's about making small, conscious decisions every day that add up to a big impact. It's about being proactive, not reactive. It's about understanding that in the world of technology, the only constant is change. And that change, while it brings new threats, also brings new defenses. It's about staying one step ahead, about not just surviving in this digital age, but thriving. Security is a chain. It's as strong as its weakest link. So make sure every link is strong. Scene script. Here are some additional tips to keep you safe. First off, never underestimate the power of reporting suspicious activity. If you think you're on the receiving end of a potential scam attempt, don't hesitate to report it. Reach out to the relevant authorities, your phone carrier, and any platforms involved, such as social media sites. By reporting, you're not just helping yourself, but you're also contributing to a larger effort to combat these scams. Next, remember that knowledge is like a ripple in a pond. Sharing what you know about AI voice cloning scams can have far-reaching effects. It's important to educate the people in your life about these scams. Talk to your loved ones, your neighbors, your colleagues. Raise awareness within your community. The more people who know about these scams, the harder it will be for scammers to succeed. You might feel like you're just one person, and what difference can one person make? But every individual who becomes aware is another potential scam that's foiled, another person who won't be duped. And finally, keep learning and staying informed. Scams, like technology, evolve. Today it's AI voice cloning. Tomorrow it could be something else. Staying ahead means constantly learning, constantly adapting. Knowledge is power. The more you know, the better you can protect yourself and others. So, let's recap what we've learned today. The rise of AI voice cloning scams is a growing concern, but you can defend yourself with the right strategies. Awareness and caution are your first lines of defense. Be skeptical of unexpected calls, listen for any red flags in speech patterns, and never rush into action under pressure. In terms of verification and communication, cross-checking information is vital. Make use of safe phrases with loved ones, and consider switching to channels where you're familiar with the other person's voice. Your security practices play a significant role too. Strengthen your passwords, limit the sharing of voice recordings, and always keep your software updated. And don't forget the additional tips. Report any suspicious activity and spread the word about these scams to your community. Remember, the digital world is evolving, and so are its threats. But with vigilance, verification, and secure practices, you can stay one step ahead. Stay safe.